And we are back. How are you? And we've got our special friend, guest. What you doing over there? You got a tie on? I can't see you.
Nah.
What's going on? Charles Jones in the
Matter of
building.
fact, let me act
We,
like I got a tie on.
no. You.
Top button alert.
That's what's up. Look, now you got me all jammed up. So,
Top
Charles
button
Jones,
alert.
how are you? Friend of the show, Charles Jones, former NBA basketball player, national coach in the United States, and political commentator here on the New American Perspective. How are you today, Charles Jones?
I'm good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Look at anybody will listen, but I can't complain.
So, have you been seeing what is going on in America right now?
I've been getting bits and pieces. Bits and pieces. I've pretty much been in the gym with the kids a little bit, so I may be halfway out of the loop, but I'm getting bits and pieces.
So you did
And
hear about the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
yes,
What did you think
yes.
about that?
Um, I mean, it's interesting. It's
Have
interesting.
you
It's
heard? Let me
interesting.
ask you first. Did you hear about Charlie Kirk before you heard about his assassination?
No, not really. No, I
Mhm,
haven't actually. But his assassination and the reaction kind of made me want to look up some stuff. So I
mhm,
seen some of the dialogue he has had with people,
mhm,
and some of the comments.
mhm.
I mean, it's
What
freedom
were
of
your immediate
speech.
thoughts?
It's freedom of speech, and throughout the years, and you grow up, you get growth, you start to understand that people will be people, and people have their beliefs, they'll express them, and also know that attention, whether be it through content, communication, however you want to do it. I mean, they say all promotion is good promotion. So in that space, I mean, people tend to say things, regardless of how you feel. People will say some things that they may later on. And I'm not speaking right now. I'm not speaking about him. I'm just saying in general. People may say
Sure,
some
sure.
stuff that later on they may be like, "Well, I really didn't. That was out of taken out of context. You just saw the clip, or I didn't mean it like that." But I understand that. I mean, it all depends on your audience, what points you're trying to prove,
Mhm.
and what your agenda is. And obviously, yeah, there's a lot of people, but there's a good amount of people that love him and believed in him, and they were with him. Um,
Yeah, if you seen, there was like they said there was like tens of thousands of people out in Arizona for the memorial. He filled a basketball stadium by himself.
mm,
And so we always think about like music people, trying to fill a stadium, and he filled the stadium and had the overflow room going, and so everybody's saying that we are Charlie Kirk right now. And so I don't think that they really killed him or his mission. I think that they intensified it, which I don't know
yes,
where that bullet came from, in the
yeah,
sense of what it was trying to prove, right? Were you
yeah,
trying to silence him, or were you trying to make this, big debacle of now having all these young people, rushing to the polls and doing what Charlie Kirk says? And I think that what Charlie did was he said to young white men, we don't have to be quiet. I think that he was saying what the white guy wanted to say to everybody. I think that he was kind of, took a little bit of shock jock with him and was saying, oh, that the black people are, they're 13% of the population and 50% of the killings, and he would go facts and stuff like that. And then I don't know if he didn't have a college degree. So he was going on he didn't go to college. So he was going on college campuses. And this is the part where I thought was like kind of creepy, because he was going on college campuses. He didn't get into, I believe it was West Point, and then he started going on college campuses. Somebody started bankrolling him, and he started going on college campuses and debating the kids and trying to be smarter than the kids when he didn't even get a college education. So it was it was interesting to say the least about his life. And I did a couple things with Turning Point. I physically didn't meet Charlie, but I had sent them some people during the Trump during the campaign and stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I was very close to meeting him and working with him. But I think that they didn't want Candace Owens to have any competition.
Mm-hmm.
But so let's talk about Kamala Harris, when she was running for office, how did you feel? Like were you supporting her? What was your what was your thought there?
Um, I mean, no, I mean it's that's also interesting because I mean you get the and it's on it's both sides of the spectrum. Or let me say all sides of the spectrum. You get the people who just say, okay, this person is well similar, whatever you want to me, I'm just going to go with them. And uh, my initial instinct is always like the first time I got on here is what do you actually bring to the table? So it's not so much it's like even with basketball, man. It doesn't matter how much I like you, I'm cool with you. What do you bring to the situation that makes sense? So I didn't just jump up and go, yeah, I'm behind that. So now I start going, all right, what makes her qualify for the job, right? But then I also, I mean, obviously from coaching and in sports, you I also think the what if this and what about this? So I said, ooh, it might be rough for her to win because you're going to have a bunch of people that I assumed wouldn't vote for her because she was a female.
Mm.
Then
Isn't
you
that
go,
something? I go through that all the time, and I'm just like, what does that mean? And wouldn't vote for somebody because she's a female. That
I
was the only
mean,
place that I felt bad for her.
it's tough because no matter how much you can say that as people we've grown, there's still a level of people who may have it takes time. Everybody grows at their own pace. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
matures at their own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Your ideology may change, it may intensify. Like to go back with the Charlie Kirk thing is sometimes some things have to happen in order for people to either change their approach or their way
Mm-hmm.
of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it intensifies how you feel. Sometimes something could happen and it makes people that were a little bit more relaxed, a little more dormant. Now they become a little more loud and boisterous with it. So I just knew that there's still a level of people that may be like, I don't know. Like, why should she get the job? And it all comes down to votes. Like even when you do the statistics of the population, it all comes down to who does the census, who does this. So you want like you understand? So I
Uh-huh.
said, okay, even if there's people that vote that haven't voted that's gonna vote because she's running, there are people that's also that haven't voted that's gonna vote against her because she's running.
That's
So I
because
said,
so here's
what's
the interesting part. So
mm,
she just came out with a memoir. Okay. She just came out with a memoir. It's called 107 Days. So it's about her 107 days in running for president, right? And
yeah,
so now she's doming everybody out. She's like, oh, I should have challenged Joe Biden on the fact that he was running for reelection and they rolled me under the bus. So she's now creating crazy ass waves and saying all the stuff that she should have said in those 107 days, all the stuff. And so now I don't know where this is going to take her, right? Because now
yeah,
everything that you should have said, now you're coming out with it. It's kind of like a snitch book to me, like
yeah,
107 days.
but this kind of like what I said, some people that might have said they weren't going to vote for her because she was a female. You got some people that feel like she might have been a little too emotional, might be a little too emotional, a little more impulsive. And then look, so you do all of this, and then now you do this.
Mm-hmm.
So then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you shouldn't have been. Maybe you shouldn't have been running,
Yeah,
which is
no,
tough. You
because
don't make yourself look any better doing this. I don't
no,
think so.
it doesn't. I think that it really pushes her really, really way further outside of everything because it's like, um, What? Why didn't you say this then? I mean, she's rolling Joe Biden under the bus. She's rolling Jill Biden under the bus. She's smashing them. She is saying the obvious, the things that we are saying in this book. And so now this is an explosion. It really, now here's the thing. It really got rolled under the table, and which begs for me to think that, I think that, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I think that everything is connected to everything. And so as she's pulling this out, Charlie Kirk gets killed, and the book, because you haven't heard about the book, right? It's called
What book?
107 Days. And
No.
people really haven't heard about it. And it kind of got pushed underneath the table with all of this other rhetoric going on. And so I think that they're like, we don't want to hear it. She had said that she's not running for governor because she doesn't want to run in this climate. And so I don't know what she's doing next for her political career. She must have enough money, to keep it moving, because I don't know. I mean, I think that she, thinking the book will be a shocking wave to everybody, but I'm not sure, because the excerpts to the book, and I'm gonna, push everybody to check out some excerpts to the book and come back and tell us what you thought, because I think it's really, really crazy.
But she got you talking about her, so that might be
Yeah,
her
no,
game,
for sure.
is to
But
try to get
it's
some
the
type of momentum or
two-facedness.
propulsion.
It's two-facedness. Like, I was never really with her. We talked about this on this show countless times. I was never really with her because she's trying to be a Black woman, and I think that she had an opportunity to say, that I'm a woman of color. I'm a first generation American. My dad was a Jamaican.
Lost you for a second.
And my mom was a Eastern Indian woman. That makes me this woman, but I'm not a Black American. You understand? I'm not a Black American from
I got
down
one
south that wasn't
question.
a slave, that went through all that stuff.
I got one question. The tough part is her time. What was it, in California?
Can't hear all of
I'm
a
trying to
sudden.
think. Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear
Can you
you.
hear
Hold
me?
on a second.
You can hear me
Go
now?
ahead, but talk.
So like her time where she becomes part of the problem, well, not problem. People speak on her with incarceration, when incarcerated with him, like some incarceration of people. I think that makes it a little tough. Then you add all of this. I just think it makes it a little more tough. But then again, all promotion is good promotion. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So some people like all promotion is good promotion. You start a pod, she might get some speaking engagements. She may get a new lifeline. She may be looking for some new back and some new people. And this could be her way of trying to separate herself to create something else.
That's a
But I,
good one.
but
That's
she
a good
got
one.
a
I'm gonna
lot.
take you up on that podcast. That she's probably looking into that podcast money, because that's
Yeah,
a
she probably trying to, create a space for herself and make it seem like, well, I'm gonna disassociate from this and then I'm gonna do this. Like I got some stuff to talk about, which would create the momentum for backing. Um, but like the thing with her, with like I mentioned, and I was trying to remember, well, I think it was California, when she had something to do with incarceration.
mm-hmm.
When incarcerate
Yeah, all those
incarcerating
people.
people. Yeah, like man, like I mean, so for me it was gonna be a little tough for her because that's the first thing that came up. So I thought with that and with her being a woman, I thought it would be a little tough for her. Especially when after Clinton ran, and I thought she had a good shot until, it started to fall apart. But I thought if it was going to be a woman that would have won, it would, for lack of a better term, it would probably be a white woman first. I don't know if they would.
Yeah. I thought that was crazy. I'm like,
I
who
don't.
the hell? You think that the hierarchy in this country is gonna let that happen? Let me see. I thought maybe
Yeah,
I was wrong. I was like,
yeah, like
I'm up next.
yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
next.
yeah. I think it might be. I think I hate to say it. Um, but I think we may be a ways away from that happening, especially after Trump get with this experiment. I think it makes it even more difficult with Trump being in office right now and what's going on. Um, I think the next person or people that get in, I think it'll be a little. I think it's going to be a little more interesting
Well, I don't
and
know if
a little
you
more.
heard me earlier, but they said that JD Vance was looking to have Charlie Kirk as his vice president. And so that's where we were going down that rabbit hole right there, that, okay, we know that JD Vance is going to run for president after Trump. And I really don't like JD Vance because I think that, again, he's too young. We don't know his ideologies and stuff like
Didn't
that.
somebody else? Hold up, man, I don't know. I can't believe I'm going blank. But didn't
Gavin
somebody
Newsom.
else have somebody a little controversial and they had them picked to be their vice president? The guy with the white hair.
Oh,
Um,
Bernie Sanders.
no, not Bernie Sanders. The person that was supposed to be the vice president, I believe, had the white hair, gray hair.
For Trump, with Trump.
Was it Trump? No, I don't know. Who else? Name some names. Who was running? There's some people that were running.
White
Some,
hair. I'm trying to think. White man. You
oh
saying
my
a
God.
white man? Um,
Yes. Um,
that was supposed to be. You got Bernie Sanders. Oh, no, Newt Gingrich. You got white hair. Nobody. I'm
hold
trying
up. Who was the dude that? Hold up. See now, I gotta hold on. Who was in? This is bad when I say this. Who was in office before Trump?
to Biden.
It was no, it wasn't. Who was running against Biden?
Trump.
It was Trump.
And you
Oh,
saying, I'm trying to think
who
who.
Trump had as his who he had at the time as his
Oh, you mean Pence? Mike Pence.
what was
Mike
up with
Pence.
Mike Pence? Mike
Mike Pence.
Pence.
You're right. That was the vice
Yes,
president.
Mike
That was
Pence.
that was Trump's first vice president.
That was his first vice president, which
Mhm.
was he was a dude. No disrespect to Mike Pence, but he had, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was a little.
He was
Yeah,
stiff. He was definitely stiff.
it was stiff. You know what I'm
He was
saying?
stiff.
It's for lack of a better time. So
So
I
listen,
mean,
let's go to a break real quick, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna
okay.
finish this conversation up because I want to ask you about how, what was I? So did you hear about the new HIV drug that Clinton Global Initiative is putting out? So we'll
No,
go
they
to
got
break
an
and when
HIV
we come
drug.
right back,
They got
look it
an
up real
HIV.
quick. We'll go to break and come right back and talk about just the new American perspectives and everything that's going on in this country. We'll be right
Okay.
back here on Millennium News 24.